cold weather, you might be wanting to take a holiday, but what do you pack when it comes to your holiday health? I'm Jennifer Snassier, watching News 24 Live. I'm joined in studio by our resident doctor, Dr. Darren Green, and he's going to tell you what you need to take with you on vacation to make sure you have a happy and healthy one. Hello.
Greetings.
How are you?
Fabulous, thank you.
Good.
Winter's upon us.
Yes. Winter is here. It's no longer coming. It's here.
Indeed, indeed.
I've recently come back from a holiday, and I only needed Bactroban while I was away, but I was very happy that I had it when I was there.
All right.
What? That's my little tidbit. What do you need to take on holiday to make sure that you have a happy and healthy holiday?
Yeah, I think the hit home message is to actually look at your destination. Know your destination, know where you're going. Know a little bit about the terrain, the circumstances, the climate, and the risks obviously involved. If it's an area where you're going to be spending most of your time indoors, there are different risks involved there, like spreading your germs when you sneeze, cough, etc.,
Right.
sharing utensils, and living in an overcrowded environment. In terms of your destination, knowing also the local types and prevalence of infections. So looking at things like malaria areas, for example. People often forget they're very keen to go to the Kruger National Park for a holiday, but taking anti-malarial prophylaxis means for certain drugs in certain age groups they should start 2 weeks before. And the night before, when the car's packed and everything's ready, then everyone starts worrying and stressing about, have I taken the necessary precautions? So know your destination and obviously then act on that. I think the next thing is, if you're going overseas and you're flying far away from home, have you got health insurance? And most of us don't know.
Very important.
We don't know whether our medical aids, as we call them in South Africa, actually cover our overseas trips, and to what degree we are covered and what type of emergencies. So have a look at where you're going and have a look. Is there a local hospital? How far is it? Is it about 4 hours away, 6 hours away? And are you covered should something happen, like you're slipping off a mountain pass and breaking your leg? And a lot of people wake up too late. And the next thing is, when you're booking your tickets, your flight tickets, etc., the travel agents often, and even online, you'll see it offers extra travel insurance. Travel insurance often includes medical insurance when you're overseas, and it might come at quite a lower premium than what it would for you to add to your existing health insurance. So take the effort and find out about your insurance before you leave. And then, of course, the medical kit that everyone knows about.
Yes.
The medical kit must contain things that are relevant to who's going on holiday. So whether the children involved, you mentioned the Bactroban, which is a great antiseptic ointment for cuts and bruises, some plasters and bandages. What about those sprains? Have you got enough materials to make a splint if someone sprains their ankle or arm, if a child slips? And then burns are a big one. People forget about the braai fires and the gas and oil heaters and the risk that brings to adults and children alike. So having simple preparations like Burn Shield available wherever you are is quite useful, especially when going camping or traveling. And then, of course, diarrhea is a big one. Travelers' diarrhea being one of the biggest causes of illness when we go on holiday, because of the water supplies, not knowing what's in it. Often water that's been stagnant and standing still. We then open the taps, and because it was still water and not oxygenated regularly, you can imagine then the risk of the load of organisms. So travelers' diarrhea is a big one. So medication for nausea and vomiting are useful. Remember, when you're vomiting, you can't ingest syrups and tablets. You can't keep them down. So suppositories are often useful when people can't ingest medication. And then stomach cramps is a big one in the youth, and obviously things like oral rehydration salts, like your rehydration.
I think people forget about that. If you're going to be
forget.
vomiting and you have diarrhea, you must rehydrate.
You have to, and you run the risk then of developing kidney failure and other organ failures if you don't correct that balance of the lack of salt, but also the lack of water. And then, of course, pain relief. Fever is a big thing, whether you contract an infection from a cut, or whether you have a bit of a snotty nose and develop a cold or flu while you're away. Something for pain and fever is always essential in both adults and in children, so remember that. And then, of course, we have a load of people who forget their chronic medication. So we have asthmatics that go on holiday and forget their asthma pumps at home because
they're too excited about holiday.
They're very excited, and they haven't been symptomatic for quite a while.
No.
And epileptics are the other big group that haven't had a seizure or a convulsion in 6 months, and it's the last thing they forget to pack.
And probably people who are extremely allergic to, let's say, bee stings.
That is a very big one. So taking your adrenaline
Yeah.
emergency EpiPen along can save a life. Not only yours, but someone else that's with you, obviously. So people need to remember their chronic medication. They run the risk, obviously, of near-death experiences by being underprepared. And then, of course, we have the holiday babies, because people forget their oral contraceptives at home. So that also mustn't be forgotten for those moms and dads that are going away. Remember to pack that in.
That's a good tip. What about vitamins? Must we
Yes.
bring vitamins along, supplements?
Well, if you're eating correctly, you shouldn't need additional,
Yeah,
vitamins. So you've got to consider, if you're going to be on the go, also pack healthy snacks for your children. Instead of being forced to buy what's available at the theme park
Which
or
often
carnival
isn't
park,
very
etc.
good for you.
It's often just really, really high GI, lots of sugary
And
snacks.
expensive.
Exactly. You can spend that money on souvenirs and and activities that you can do and build lots of memories with, of course. So packing healthy snacks like nuts, dried fruit, and having lots of bottled water right at the top of the list, and people shouldn't forget that.
Do you have any questions for Dr. Green? Let us know what those are in the comment section below, and we'll see you next week.